Second quarter GDP are now hitting the wires. 3% was our last look. It now jumps up to 3.3%. But from a comp basis, that would still be the best quarter since September of 23, third quarter of 23.
Hey, what's going on, Bull Runners? Welcome back to the channel. Ryan Huggins here. Imagine a world where the United States economy's most crucial data lives on a blockchain. Transparent, secure, and unshakable. But what happens when quantum computers could crack the very systems that we rely on? And with the United States economy roaring back, why isn't crypto surging? Today, we're diving into these massive crypto stories shaking up the market. So stick around because you need to know what's coming before it's too late. Plus, we will head over to x.com. Check out all the breaking financial news today. We're going to check in at Forex Factory and look at those GDP numbers and unemployment claim numbers that came out this morning. We'll head over to Altcoin Pro University and look at U.S. Commerce Department pushes to migrate GDP data on chain. So what perfect timing. And U.S. regulators are opening a pathway for Americans to trade on offshore crypto exchanges. XRP is in the distribution phase, but that doesn't change the fact that the $20 price target still exists. And at the end of the video, we will be jumping into the charts of XRP. And look, when will we break out of this bull flag? We're going to be looking at very important levels of resistance and support, plus our long-term and short-term momentum waves, and so much more in today's video. So if you're like most people, where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day in the crypto news like we do for you here on this channel, make sure you subscribe right now. And if you are still feeling bullish about this current bull run, let me know by commenting 777. First things first, let's head over to CoinMarketCap. We're going to check out the overall health of the crypto market today. As we can see, we are trading at $3.89 trillion total market cap, up 0.9% in the last 24 hours, and that is on $160 billion worth of trading value. $160 billion of trading volume. Fear and Greed Index is still sitting in the neutral zone. It's currently at 47. With the exciting news today, altcoin season, we finally surpassed that 50 level on the index here. We're currently sitting at 57 out of 100, and that was just based off of a massive spike that just literally happened in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance continues to take a step down, as we can see, 57.5%. This week's Bitcoin ETF inflow, only $395 million worth of inflows this week. Last week ended at $1.1 billion worth of outflow. Ethereum is having another massive inflow week to their ETF program. And as we can see here, $1.2 billion worth of inflows to Ethereum. Today's inflows fell a little flat though, $6.3 million. Top 5 trending coins right now on CoinMarketCap. Number 1, Link, which is up 3.67. Pyth, which is up 100%. BNB up 2.41. Tree up 24%. And Crow up 18%. Top 6 cryptos by total market cap. Number 1, Bitcoin at $112. Number 2, Ethereum at $44.80. XRP at number 3 at $2.95. Tether at number 4 for $1, BNB at number 5 at $8.75, and Solana up to $2.15. It is up 18% in the last 7 days. Checking in at Forex Factory, where you get all the financial news that you need to know. Preliminary GDP quarter over quarter was a massive success. It was forecasted at 3.1. It did come in at 3.3%, so extremely positive for the United States economy. On top of that, a double dipper today. The unemployment claims also forecasted at 231,000, coming in at 229,000. So 2 significant positive numbers for the United States economy. Tomorrow, we do have the core PCE price index month over month. So check in with us tomorrow as well. Don't forget to subscribe. And you are a genius for being here. Smash that thumbs up for being a genius. So GDP is the biggest piece of news today in the regular traditional finance. We do have an even bigger story for crypto news we'll tap into in just a moment, but GDP was revised higher on stronger CapEx numbers driven by President Trump's one big beautiful bill. The data shows that tariffs are not weighing on prices or consumer spending. And as we see here from Joseph Lavorgna, strong growth on no inflation. Q2 real GDP revised up to 3.3% on the back of stronger than previously reported business investments. The CapEx comeback, the direct result of POTUS's one big beautiful bill, continues. It has soared over 15% annualized in the first half of 2025. The 2026 economic outlook continues to brighten. So strong numbers for the economy. Will we get a rate cut? And I love what Wolf of All Streets posted here. You sound smarter when you say 100 basis points instead of 1%. So if you've ever heard of the fact that the interest rates, you talk about it's at 4.5%, 4.5%, or 450 basis points. So everyone is talking about the potential of lowering the interest rate by 1 full percent rate cut coming up in September. Or to sound smarter, you could always say 100 basis points. I always thought it was funny because a lot of the people on TV all use the 100 basis points. But when you talk to normal people, everyone uses 1%. And that goes along with the headline that we showed in the intro. Justin, US revises their GDP number up to 3.3. Also, some really positive crypto news coming out. $1 billion USDT has been minted on the Tether Treasury. Let me know down in the comments, what happens to Bitcoin when $1 billion worth of USDT is minted? And we also have the U.S. Commerce Department coming out and saying the Department of Commerce posts their second quarter gross domestic products on the blockchain. So more important than just the number being so positive, they have now transitioned to actually being on the blockchain. So it's only fitting that the Commerce Department and President Donald Trump, the crypto president, publicly release economic statistical data on the blockchain. We are making America's economic truth immutable and globally accessible like never before, cementing our role as the blockchain capital of the world. And everybody has to admit that 3.3 GDP growth is impressive, from Howard Lutnick, the secretary. And that is correct. Chainlink partners with the United States Department of Commerce to bring official macroeconomic data on chain. Vitalik Buterin says that 20% chance computers break modern cryptography before the end of 2030. Now, this is an important deal because, as you know, he's a big baller in the creation of crypto. He's one of the founders of Ethereum, and crypto relies on cryptography to keep transactions secure. So if quantum computers advance faster than expected, they could expose private keys, making wallets vulnerable. Vitalik's warning isn't just hype. It's a wake-up call. The crypto industry is already working on quantum-resistant algorithms, but this timeline adds a lot of urgency. So if you're deep into crypto, this is a reminder that the tech isn't bulletproof just yet.
Have you built a crypto portfolio over $1 million but want to access your wealth without selling any of your coins? Well, imagine unlocking up to 85% of your portfolio's value to fund ventures like real estate, to buy other projects in the crypto space that are undervalued compared to the projects that you currently hold, or to diversify into different DeFi yield opportunities. That way you can live on the interest without selling any of your crypto. Well, we've partnered with a leading global office offering non-recourse crypto loans for investors with portfolios starting at $1 million. The same company that is trusted by the world's largest institutions and investors, because as you already know, the billionaires don't sell their crypto, they borrow against it. So if you're ready to unlock up to 85% of your portfolio's value without selling any of your coins, and you have a portfolio with at least $1 million, then email us at team@bullrunners.com. You're going to see our email contact in the description below, and we'll get you connected with the company that has helped clients like ours north of $100 million borrow against their crypto without selling any of it. So reach out to start a conversation with our team right now at team@bullrunners.com, and we'll talk to you soon.
One of the most controversial internet crypto interviews is going down, and it's been spreading like crazy all over the internet. Take a listen to this.
Need help. Okay. Investing. Don't know what to do, what it is, but I need help. I need help. Okay, so I would recommend, so me personally, I have 1.3 million in XRP. So right now it's about $2 and something cents, but the community knows that when I know it will bump up to $10, I'm going to be basically set for life. So I would highly recommend buying XRP. Why are you crying? What the heck did you just say? XRP. I couldn't even understand what X could even stand for. It doesn't stand for anything. It's just like, XRP doesn't stand for anything like explicitly. It's just like I'm screwed. Crypto men come this way. Help me. Just put money into XRP and then you're set for life. Put my money in it. Or just spend it all. Whatever you want to do. Well, will the IRS come after me if they won't come after me if I do that? You haven't paid taxes in 2 years, so they're going to come after you anyway. Not if I had my money in this XPR stuff.
This is who you're trading against, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, no financial advice on this channel. Do not buy or sell anything that we talk about on this channel. Do your own research, make your own decisions. But yes, that is right. She has 1.3 million in XRP, and she decided to tell her friend that she should also own it. And this is a massive influencer, so take heed of that. Also, keep an eye on this Friday. We're looking for prices to move to the upside. Well, there are $5 billion in Ethereum options expiring on Friday that could push Ethereum above the 5K as bullish strategies dominate the expiry. And as you know, all the crazy news swirling around the Federal Reserve, well, there are now 11 strong Fed chair candidates.
There are 11 very strong candidates. President Trump knows some of them he doesn't. I'm going to begin talking to them after Labor Day. And there'll be some other folks around the White House who will also interview them. And we will present 3 or 4 candidates to the president. And like I said, he has a very open mind. He's very sophisticated on monetary policy, which I think drives some people at the Fed crazy, that they can't just dictate, okay, sir, here's the way it is. He has his own views. He's going to make those known. And I think that he has great reverence for the Fed as an institution, and I think he believes that it's lost its way, and that the new chair will be someone who is expert on monetary policy, regulatory policy, and knows how to run a sprawling institution, which the Fed is.
So it's going to be interesting to see Trump hiring someone to run the Federal Reserve that actually knows how to deal with money, and not just a figurehead or puppet like Jerome Powell has been for the last 8 years. Heading over to Altcoin Pro University under the crypto news. By the way, if you want to get involved in our community, you can click the link down below in the description for Altcoin Pro University. Check it out. Breaking U.S. Commerce Department pushes to migrate GDP data on chain. And it is more than just Chainlink, ladies and gentlemen. So for the first time ever, the U.S. Department of Commerce has published their GDP data on chain, as we talked about. The rollout will begin with Arbitrum, Avalanche, Base, Botanix, Ethereum, Linea, Mantle, Optimism, Sonic, and ZK Sync, along with Chainlink, of course. And Pyth Network is going to be acting as the oracles to distribute the data. So now it may make sense to you in the beginning of the video when we talked about the top trending coins right now being Chainlink, #1, because it had a massive explosive day yesterday. But then Pyth, like a lot of people are probably like, well, what the heck is Pyth? I've never heard of it. Well, it's up 107% today on this news. And understandably so, because this is massive. I had never heard of Pyth before, and now all of a sudden it's going to be running the oracles for the United States government. So this means that U.S. official economic data will live natively on the blockchain infrastructure, opening the door for global tokenization of products, commodities, and real-time financial applications. Over time, more networks like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Tron, Stellar, Avalanche, Arbitrum, Polygon, Matic, and Optimism could become integral to the historical shift. And these thoughts are coming from our top analyst over at Altcoin Pro, Yoni here. He says, this is massive. On-chain GDP data is a foundational building block for decentralized finance, AI-driven economies, and tokenized global trade. The big question, which chains will have the scalability, liquidity, and infrastructure to handle the weight of tokenized global commerce? And he's got some labeled here, of course: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Tron, Stellar, Avalanche, Arbitrum, Polygon, Optimism, and Sonic, because they were mentioned. The oracles that are in play right now are Chainlink and Pyth Network. Now, you may be wondering, well, who cares? Like, why is this important to me? Well, on-chain trust and data, economic data is the backbone of finance. By putting GDP on chain, the U.S. is signaling trust in blockchain as a secure, tamper-proof record. This is important because if you continue to hear these numbers were revised up, these numbers were revised down, these numbers were revised this way, that way, well, now we're going to have actual proof of what the numbers are supposed to be. Plus, on top of that, #2, fuel for DeFi and AI. Now, smart contracts, algorithms, and AI agents can tap into real GDP data in real time. And this unlocks new financial products like on-chain prediction markets, algorithmic stablecoins, and tokenized commodities. And third, tokenization at scale. Imagine the United States economic stats powering tokenized assets, real estate, treasuries, oil, global trade flows. And this is how actual real world assets beyond just equities begin bringing into crypto. Because if you remember, there were some stocks and some bonds coming on board from different companies, but now we're talking about major infrastructure, real world assets coming on board. And then, of course, we do have the race between chains to think about here as well. Every chain that can handle this kind of data securely and at scale has a chance to become a core piece of the global financial system. Ethereum, Solana, AVAX, ARB, Optimum, Matic, and even Bitcoin. He says, doubt it on the Bitcoin part, though, could compete here. And then he also put a note under there as well. Note, this is not a buy signal for tokens mentioned. I believe that they will integrate more chains as well. Bullish mainly for oracles, since they are responsible for bringing the data. And again, those oracles are going to be so far Chainlink and Pyth Network. So again, if you like this type of information, you can join Altcoin Pro University. Links down in the description below. This was in the crypto news section. We also have our altcoin picks section. We got one that came out 21 hours ago. OMFG, take a look at it. DeFi yield picks if you're into that. Airdrops, if you like to get airdrops, free crypto. And we also have our announcements, general discussion, market updates on what's going on. U.S. regulator opens a pathway for Americans to trade on offshore crypto exchanges. So this is a really big deal because as of right now, if you want to do something trading wise with higher leverage and things of that nature, it's very risky because you have to deal with an offshore broker who can just take your money and run. I don't know if you guys have been following the white whale on X and his saga on what happened. So a couple of days ago, he came out and requested help on X. He said, I'm putting out a $2 million bounty up for grabs. Half can be claimed by you. And let's start by saying, I know I was dumb, more FAQs, et cetera, but Mexi official froze over $3 million of my funds. That's $3.158 million to be precise. No warning, no explanation, no terms of service violation because there was none. Again, Mexi is an overseas broker that you could do leverage trading with. Well, this gentleman was trading high volume amounts and winning, being very successful, and got $3 million worth of his money locked up in an account. He is offering a reward. So if you're one of those people that are bounty hunter, you can go check him out on the white whale. But this has been going on for days. In fact, he created an NFT that you could buy that would get you into the help. And if he ever returned that money of $3 million to him, he was going to distribute it out to the NFTs. He wasn't selling them. You would use gas fees, but he was giving them away for free. And it was a challenge for him to get people to help him get his money back from Mexi. Well, during this, he also found Pablo Ruiz, who also got his money frozen of $2 million, remain fully inaccessible on Mexi as well. So they do this frequently. And it is very, very dangerous. So the CFTC is trying to overhaul regulations in response to proposals from the Trump administration. The CFTC director, Caroline Pham, said starting now, the CFTC welcomes back Americans who want to trade efficiently and safely under CFTC regulations and opens up U.S. markets to the rest of the world. It's just another example of how the CFTC will continue to deliver wins for President Trump as part of our crypto sprint. So instead of having to trade on a brokerage like Mexi, because you have to go there to be able to do these types of scenarios, you can also we're going to see some of these open up in the United States. This is also going to allow offshore exchanges to serve U.S. residents and can potentially increase liquidity in crypto markets and remove silos that have kept crypto trapped within regions. Now, currently, in order to trade on brokers like Mexi, oftentimes you have to use a VPN. You also have to go through a very extensive KYC process to prove that you're not an American. Well, soon that's all going to be cleared up as hopes from the CFTC. Binance, the world's largest exchange by trading volume, is currently inaccessible to United States residents. Instead, it operates in the country through a separate entity, Binance US, which is not available in all states. And this keeps U.S. residents in a walled garden of crypto companies eligible to do business in the United States. The CFTC has been overhauling its crypto policies as part of the Crypto Sprint initiative to pass comprehensive crypto regulation. Next up, we got $20 price target for XRP. Crypto analyst X-Force Global says essentially we have two scenarios, in my opinion, that have the highest conviction probability. And I think that we're very close to the much larger upward move. There are just no signals supporting a larger sell-off of the downside. Move number one is a strong impulse continuation. So you can see prices run up here and then you come up here and continue your run up into the higher highs. The other scenario is where we're chopping out right now. We have a deeper pullback into like the lower $2 range and then make the move to the upside. The target for XRP price is between $19 and $30 based on both scenarios as shown in the charts above. And on top of that, as we've been talking about, there is for sure a significant symmetrical triangle pattern playing out that you can see on the charts as well right here. But even bigger than that, and the symmetrical triangle pattern plays out to $4. But in reality, this is also a bullish flag with the pennant here. So the flagpole from here to here, and the target is more like $4.75. Let's go take a look at the chart. All right, guys. So as we're taking a look here, we do have the flag pattern starting to develop on XRP right here. Symmetrical triangle, waiting for a breakout to the upside. But what's more interesting is if you take from this most recent swing low, which is right here, if you go from the swing low to the most recent high, and then you take this piece and you go to where the breakout would be. Now, unfortunately, we haven't officially broken out. Take a look at how important this level is, by the way. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7, 8 times. It has tried to break this level in the last 8 days. Prior to that, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times before breaking down. And this is on the daily charts here. So once this resistance finally breaks, there's a likelihood that we break and then retest again and then finally make the move to the upside. That's totally fine. I will accept that. But the exciting thing that is going to happen when this bull flag pattern fully plays out, we're getting to $4.72, more like an exit to be safe at $4.50. And it's interesting because obviously we have the pennant shape here, which is the triangle shape. Ethereum had the block shape or the square shape on its big giant bull flag pattern that did end up playing out. So from its swing low here to the flag pattern here. So if we take the swing low to the top of that swing high, and then it created the flag pattern. It even had a liquidity grab up and down before finally breaking out. But if we take a look here, price ran all the way up into our resistance level and hit that take profit of that 41.30, broke up to the upside, retested off of our supply and demand zone. So right now, our supply and demand zones are still in play on Ethereum that need to break out. We need to break above 49.51 and then get into price discovery. But let's go back to XRP because this is exciting. We do have a potential bull flag pattern playing out. Long-term momentum is still bullish. As you can see, it's up here on the weekly chart, still riding bullish. Now, what I don't like, for the first time in a long time, we're getting a flash of red here on the weekly charts. That is not good. So if we were to have some sort of short-term momentum wave reset back to the 0 before we have a flashback to the 100, look at what happened last time we turned red. So we flashed red back on the week of January 20th, and we came down and we stayed down low. Now, it was essentially a consolidation period from there. But look at this. January 20th, before the move to the upside, was June 30th. So we go from here to here. That was a total of 23 weeks in this consolidation period. Now, what is interesting, though, look at what happened last time. The short-term momentum wave came up, had a slight dip, then it ran back up, then have the reset, and look at the move that did happen. So right now, this secondary move, so we had the short-term momentum reset here, and then the actual run to the upside before the flash of red, it did have a nice 86% move, when in the first place it was a 488% move. So really there's a 400% move that we're missing from the move compared to the previous. We'll take a look here at the daily charts. We're getting the same scenario here. Unfortunately, this is what we've been tracking. Our bullish momentum indicator on the daily had dropped below the 0 line back here, August 20th. We're waiting for that to make the return above the 0 line on our Wolfpack indicator. Last time we dipped below, you can see right here, and then it finally made its push to the upside. And this had bearish energy for 34 days. So just a little over a month, we had to suffer through that. But we do have a lot of very positive fundamental news that just came out in the news. Unfortunately, there was no mention of XRP in any of that news. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Was it on purpose that they forgot, neglected to say something about XRP? Time will tell. We'll continue to follow that. But right now, what we have is some support and resistance levels. So right now, support levels are here from 292 down to 282. It's a 10-cent range. We can see we've been in this range many times in the past already. If we break and lose this 282 level, then we would see a return back into the 275 to 265 range here as a very, very deep support. And let's take a look at our 4-hour to see where our 1100 exponential moving average all the way at 250. Let's look at the 3-hour. It's down here at 266. Let's look at the 2-hour. So this is where we may be coming into play. If we do have a continued downward momentum scenario, I would be looking at $2.79 as a potential support level. Let's see where we're sitting on the 1-hour 1100 exponential moving as we speak. It did just drop below there, but I like to use that for my steps down, right? So if we lose the 1 hour, then it's going to go to the 2-hour, which is down at 279. If we lose the 2-hour, then it's going to go all the way down to the 3-hour, 265. But right now we're holding strong at the 1-hour level. Let's look above. Where's our 30-minute? We start to make a turn back around. As you can see, when it gets up to the 30-minute level, it spikes through, but unfortunately, it really ultimately fails in that level there. So at the time of recording, we do have 2 days and 23 hours left in this weekly candle. What we do not want to do is close below these candle bodies right here. These candle bodies right here, if we lose that, which we are currently below that at this exact moment, but if we lose that level, there is a potential of getting pretty bearish to where we could be returning back to these levels down here. And there is a fair value gap right there that needs to be filled all the way down to $2.30. Now, that is nightmare scenario to the downside. I don't want to think that, but I have to be smart about what's happening in crypto. So we're going to watch where does this weekly body candle close, and we'll also continue to watch and monitor this symmetrical triangle pattern. If based on all of this bullish news that we just had, GDP numbers, unemployment numbers, things start to turn around. Now, one other thing, we'll talk about some woo-woo here for just a moment. We turn on our moon phases. The woo-woo, full moons typically are where we can go up. New moons go down. Full moon, this one kind of just chops sideways. New moon is just chopping sideways. So these two are just canceling each other out. Our next full moon to keep in check is going to be September 7th. So we go here, September 7th out here. So that would put us 9 days away. So we're a week and a half from the next full moon, to where if we just continue to chop sideways, it would actually be very positive because we're just building momentum. We're actually consolidating in this same range, staying above $3, and then accelerate to the upside.
Hey, bull runners, check this out. If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers,